to meet each other and greet each other on a Sunday morning. And I'd like to just say this that I'd like to congratulate the children and the teachers of Whitby International School for hosting us, one, and two, for presenting such a beautiful program. And the smiles on the faces of the children said it all, that they were truly enjoying their performance. And I think that matters. And I think all that we are talking about in education is about that. Do I love it? Do I love doing what I'm doing? And if I do that, I think education is there for us. All of you are achievers. They called Brainfeed. I'd like to thank them for inviting me as well as all of us over here for this special event, which is a Women's Day event. So to all the men out here, I'd like to say a very special thanks for supporting us throughout. And I mean it. Because I strongly believe that no society does because of women achievers or men achievers. There's nothing like that. Society achieves because there are passionate people who work very hard towards bringing about that transformation in education. It's not about men and women. And it's so also when we talk in terms of our schools, an egalitarian school, where there are no boy achievers, first in girls amongst girls, first amongst boys. Now we have that little element in our head called the brain. It's common. It's neuter gender. Okay, it doesn't know which gender it belongs to. Yes, but we have inclinations towards the left or to the right. And accordingly, we become more creative or we become more logical. They gave me a very free hand in choosing a topic, and I actually chose my topic while I was driving in, because you do think about what you can exchange with you. All of you are enlightened principals, heads of schools, or owners of schools. And I can't be talking about what next can we do. No. So today I'm just talking in terms of strategies in innovation. And I asked myself, if these men and women here are already achievers in a way, how do we go about making that one extra step? Are we going to wait for the government to pass the next policy and tell us, hey guys, go ahead, make this change? Or do we think that we already are in the pool and we should take the next step forward? I was inspired about a decade back when I heard Professor Vijay Govindarajan live. He spoke about 3 boxes. And according to him, the framework of innovation lies in 3 boxes that we have. So all our schools are going to be fitted into some box or the other, or some part of us is going to be in one box or the other. So we call the 3 boxes almost in a pattern that I will say, which I'll lead to a little bit of a spiritual connotation, if I can say. The first one is manage the present. That's what most schools are doing today, managing the present. I got this results, can I make my results plus 5% more? All my teachers are trained for this. I need to train them to handle AI in classroom. I have to manage the present. The council or the board has introduced the MCQ, so let me prepare my children for the MCQs. That's managing the present. I have a set of resources. Everything seems to be done. We're already there. I am receiving awards. My school receives all its accolades. Recognition done. We have arrived. Yes? No. We haven't. So what do we do next? If we have to move and look at the future and look at what we have to do for our school, maybe in 2030, you have to start thinking today. And what do we do today? We move to our second box. Our second box is about dumping or destroying. So destroying what? Destroying things we really don't need. So you already have a set of practices, you have a set of standard operating processes and procedures. You're doing well. instead of banking on the accolades you receive and the name that you have, move to the next stage where we move into our next box. The next box is where we have to remove things that you think you do not want. Which means all of us in our schools have to sit down together and literally go down the memory lane, seeing what are the things that we are doing, what are the things we are doing because we have been doing it for the past 30 years and we've been successful, or we've been doing it for the past 10 years and it's taken us this long so fast. So what next? So we have to take away things that we don't think we require today because the world has moved ahead, and then we don't need certain processes or certain things that we are already doing because that's already there and assumed. And it's no longer relevant. If I can try and give a solid example, was during the COVID. All of us moved to technology. Why? Because the need demanded. I could not have said, okay, in one particular shelter, I'll call class-wise students and do it, and I would have taken all precautions and all permissions. I would not have done it. We needed to move to the blended or more the online mode, and then later on for 1 year to the blended mode. And we still continue to do this. The rails outside, inside we go into a blended model. That's what we do. So which means we have adapted to something that we really want. But what did we dump? We dumped away something that we could have called a holiday. Rain day holiday is no longer there for children now. Right? So we have found out something and done something more. Similarly, with patterns of examinations. We've done away with series of tests and examinations that we used to do once upon a time to putting them and bringing them together, tying them up so that we could have some concrete, well, meaningful examinations. Today is a world when we have to use our data to make our next decision. So are we doing that? So some of the schools have already started doing that, making decisions based on the data that they are available to them. First example I can give you is data that you get because of your students' results. When you make a comparisons, you get an analysis, and based on the analysis, you go back reteaching something or applying the same concept in a different way. You're teaching it differently. That's again innovation. So your second is where you reflect, take away things that you don't need anymore. Practice handwriting every day. You will do 5 pages a day. It was once upon a time I did it. I'm sure my next generation did it. I don't know whether the kids are doing it now. I think no. Yes, we have discarded something that is very monotonous. Right? So that's the second stage. The third stage, we have to up ourselves, which is where we are going to position ourselves, which means creating the future. How important it is for us to look at what's going to happen 10 years down the line and start creating it today so that we have a good future that children can be proud of. You give a lecture in a class for 40 minutes, you'll see the restlessness in the class. You combine it with a series of teaching learning strategies and methodologies, and or you make them work on their own, it makes it more meaningful. That's what we have to do. So we have to create the future, a future that children want in our classrooms. It's also a future where you are having innovative practices inside your school or innovative measures, whether it is research and development, whether it is your teaching and learning methodology, student involvement, engagement, parental engagement, whatever it is. No longer we do have recitation competitions by the day. Recitation happens inside a classroom. Today we have something that we create, which is a new kind of competition, and that's where children write their poetry and recite it on the spot. So we say that AI is a devil, it's a threat? No. Old methodologies, old thoughts, old beliefs, they are a threat, not AI, not technology, not newer things. That's what we will have to keep in mind for us. So as you can see, we move from box 1 to box 2 to box 3. Can we just discard one? No, never. You have to find a balance between 1, 2, and 3. While you need to move to your 3, you will have to involve your teachers who are engaged in the regular teaching of the first box and move them to the group 2. What do we do? And if you ask me personally, because I have experiences, I try it out, I do it, I practice it. Which is the most difficult phase? Contrary to people's opinion, this is phase 2 that is most difficult. We find it very difficult to find reflections and give direction to those reflections, because we do not want to accept certain things. And I'm being honest when I say my school is 55 years old. There have been so many things that we did so well. But time to move on, right? So when you use something new, you say, why did we discard all that? That was so well done. We've been doing it for 55 years. That was 55 years. If I see in today's terminology, 55 is 11 generations. 5 years is 1 generation. So you can imagine the pace at which we all have to work in order to create something new. I'm very fortunate that you are all here. If you're here itself on a Sunday morning, it means you are so committed to education. And that's the most beautiful thing, and that's what we need to applaud you for. Because you are here because of the commitment to education, commitment to quality of improvement, quality of empowerment. So everyone talks about empowerment, I talk about quality of empowerment. How do we empower our school? So as I conclude, I'd like to say that we moved from box 1, 2, and 3. We have the best practices coming. As I see, manage the present. Box 1 is what? Preservation. Box 2 goes to discarding or destroying what is not relevant for the present. So that's box 2. So what is that? A destroyer. And box 3 is what we need to create as a future. That's the creator. I call it Vishnu, Shiva, and Brahma, combined together to create what we call a beautiful new education system. So if you see your windows of opportunities opening in front of you, just don't pull down the shade. Open the windows yourself. Don't wait for someone else to do it for you. Open it up and just see what the beautiful world outside has to offer. There will be highs and lows, low mountains and high mountains. Let's climb that together. There is no your school and my school. There is no your board and my board. This is all ours. This is an education ecosystem that we have to create together. And what better day to do it than a Women's Day. So congratulations to each one of you. Let's empower each other to have a more beautiful educational space. Thank you very much.